Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra James Bond Limited Edition. You can see this James Bond themed automatic master coaxial chronometer and buy it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch, with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details. On my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this watch is striking on several levels, but the most important element of any timepiece is how it fits. That comes before how it looks. Ergonomically, the watch is an excellent match for my 16 centimeter wrist, 41.5 millimeters across the round of the case, not including the crown. The watch is also reasonably slim. 14 millimeters thick, it has a stepped and conical bezel that allows a dress cuff or tight sleeve, in true Bond fashion, to slide up and over the flank of the watch. Although not thin or ultra thin by any means, it is an easy watch to wear with a tight cuff. Now, the watch also has reasonable lug to lug dimensions, 48 millimeters from extremity to extremity. It's not the kind of watch that's going to overhang the edges of a smaller wrist, and I would say, subjectively, as I wear the watch now, it could probably be worn on a wrist as small as about 14.5 centimeters, with a good sense of proportion as well as physical security. Now, a big part of that equation is the superb hybrid strap that Omega includes with this watch. Now, you can see it does close the gap along the flank of the case, so it appears very integrated. There's not a whole lot of daylight shining there, and yet you can pull it straight down, so it isn't constrained against the flank of the case. It doesn't have any virtual tendency to flare, adding virtual diameter to the watch, as is so often the case. This is an easy one to pull around a tight and short-cropped forearm. You also note that the watch has a wonderful underlay of calfskin beneath its strap. This is a hybrid style strap, and you can see that there's a sort of shoulder or gusset around the perforations to prevent them from becoming gouged and wearing prematurely. It's a thoughtful refinement that Omega's incorporated into many of its higher end straps, and as you can see, the combination of textile dark blue, almost navy but not quite, with a vivid yellow highlight makes this an extremely distinctive addition, both in terms of dial and in terms of strap. Now, it's all paired with an Omega, a fairly standard Omega, alternately satin and polished, single fold deploying clasp. It has trigger actuation, so this heavy sports watch isn't going to pop open accidentally. And it also has a strap minder hider underneath, which is to say it minds the additional strap and hides it underneath the clasp, so there are no minder loops to take up excess slack. Now, the watch is an edition of 15,007, 007 themed, it's 007 branded. Now, while 15,000 is by no means scarce, it is decidedly different from the far, far more voluminous Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra production. So in the scope of Omega production, this is nevertheless a fairly rare bird. And Birds of the West Indies, if you want to check out that reference, has a little bit of a tangential James Bond association worth mentioning. Now, you can also notice that the dial itself is perhaps the most explicitly Bond-themed part of this watch. You can see the James Bond pistol logo alongside the 15,007 Gauss marquee at 6 o'clock. You can see that the James Bond family coat of arms is blazoned on the PVD blue dial, as well as stationed on the tip of the constant seconds hand. This is a watch that pretty much trumpets its James Bond association. One might even say calls them out without any kind of coy mulling about. It's a watch that is all about co-branding. There's very little about this watch that is subtle. However, it is a fully realized concept. You can see even on the case back with the bullet emblem James Bond logo, you can see the rifling surrounding that simulated bullet at center over the winding bearings. You can see that the entire winding rotor itself has become just another platform for James Bond theme. And moreover, you can see that the caliber, because of the unique winding rotor, even has a distinct caliber number, no longer an 8500, it's an 8507. But beneath all of the co-branding, there's a very substantial mechanical product. This is Omega's caliber 8500. Twin mainspring barrels, automatic winding, a 60-hour power reserve. It's immensely complex for a simple three-hand time and date movement. It features both hacking seconds, so when you pull the crown, you stop the balance. Now you can synchronize to a known accurate reference time. And when you pull the crown to its second position, let me find the clutch right there, you can actually move the hour hand using the time zone function forward and backwards without disturbing the timekeeping, stability, or precision of the watch. The balance continues to beat. The minute and the seconds hand remain unaffected. Moreover, it is a free-sprung balance with a full balance bridge. You can't quite see it underneath the James Bond imagery, but it is a free-sprung balance in the Rolex fashion, anchored on both sides. Both of these features mitigate against shock-induced timing variation, and the hairspring, which is Omega's Silicon SI14, is the reason that this watch is a master coaxial and not merely a coaxial. So it has the coaxial Daniels escapement, but it also has the amagnetic qualities, thus the designation master coaxial. And to top it all off, this watch, which is rugged in the Bond image, is also rugged in fact. With 150 meter water resistance, you've got more than enough to take this watch swimming, snorkeling, or jet skiing this summer. You can see this Omega Aqua Terra James Bond limited edition and purchase it on our website.